Following breaking news out of South Florida, the 16-year-old charged in the death of his stepsister on board a cruise ship will not be forced to stay in jail right now. Channel 9's Nick Papantonis is live in Miami outside of the federal courthouse where a hearing just wrapped up. And Nick, you were inside when all of this unfolded.
Yeah, we saw Timothy Hudson for the first time without a hood on, so we got a very clear look at him. We could also see him wiping his eyes at certain points during this hearing as some very sensitive things were said. But just to go over the highlights here, he can, as you said, stay out until a judge determines whether he can house Hudson in a facility in the Tampa area where his family currently is versus here in Miami. It's something both sides say they prefer actually to have the Miami location be where he lives in a juvenile facility. However, the judge feels like it's better for his mental health if he stays near his uncle in Tampa. He's currently living with his uncle. He is currently on a sort of home confinement. His uncle has to be with him at all times if he leaves the home. The judge found he's not a flight risk at this time. Hudson has been complying with the rules and obeying everything, but that was one of the concerns, along with the fact that this is a very serious crime, both murder and sexual assault of his stepsister, Anna Kepner. The game has changed, as prosecutors were trying to argue. He is facing right now life in prison if he's convicted at a trial. He was going to get out at 21 years old without any sort of criminal conviction if this case stayed in juvenile court. If he decides to plead out, he's still facing 24 to 30 years in prison. Again, that's with a plea deal. During this hearing, we also learned a lot of new information, including when Anna was last heard from. It was determined that at 8:14 p.m. on the night of her death, she sent something over Snapchat. She was alone with Hudson, prosecutors say, until 10 o'clock that night in the cabin when a camera on the ship caught Hudson emerging from the cabin, looking both ways and then leaving. Nobody else left or went into that room until a sibling returned at 11 p.m. and did not see Kepner. That's all according to camera footage. We also learned that the next morning, Hudson is seen crossing the length of the ship diagonally from front to back, throwing a phone away outside of a market determined to be Anna's phone that a staff member caught and later recovered and put in an area where authorities could eventually find it. And that is what they say is adding to the evidence here that Hudson was the one that murdered his stepsister. And they say that phone, they were able to track it as it pinged off different routers along the ship as he went to throw it away. And then when he followed that same route back, prosecutors say that phone stayed pinging over where that trash can was. They just unsealed a full transcript of a February hearing. Those 3 hours of testimony. That was a lot of new information that we have not yet learned in this case. We're going to go pull that document from the online system, take a look through it, and we'll be updating you about what else we learn about this incident coming up on Eyewitness News later this afternoon. Live in Miami, Florida, Nick Papantonis, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.